What the is going on?
I like to party.
Jesus, honey, wax much?
This is Unwaxed
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
with Sophia and Sistine Stallone.
We just become best friends.
Yep.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Unwaxed with your favorite sisters, Sophia and Sistine Stallone.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Yes, I hope you are hungover from the weekend, and I hope you are having a great Tuesday. Guess what's after Tuesday, Sophia?
Hump
Wednesday.
day.
There we go. We're on the same page. How is everyone doing? This is like your little daily check-in. Are you guys doing okay? Did you have a good bowl of cereal for breakfast? I hope you guys are hitting the treadmills.
How are you doing, Sistine, first and foremost? I want to ask.
Well,
Got the bug right in front of me.
you have a bug in you and there's a direct sunbeam going right into my eye. How am I doing? I'm good. You know, sometimes I wake up just very sad for no reason. And today was not one of those days, so I'm doing fabulous.
Can I tell you how I'm feeling? And since we're on Unwaxed, and I said this to Sistine, I'm going to be very straight up. I'm in a shitty mood.
No, I know.
You know,
No,
but
no, I know, yeah.
oh yeah, you know, but like I don't think everyone else knows. So just letting you know, I'm in a bad mood. And I'm fine saying that because I'm just gonna be very honest. And I don't think I can just like bullshit my way and act like I'm just doing perfect. But you know, when you get just bad news, which I got this morning, and it just kind of ruins your day. And it's really hard, I think, for me to get out of that headspace. Like I know I have a job to do, so we're shooting this podcast and I'm gonna go full blown about it and like make it the best I can, because you do have to separate when it comes to work and how you're feeling.
Yeah.
But I just like this whole day I've been trying to like make myself feel better, but it's really, really hard to, and I don't know why.
Sometimes I think it's okay just to sit with being sad, though. You know what I mean? I think as human beings, sometimes we try to, whenever we're feeling bad, fix the problem right away. And I'm not saying wallow for a week straight, but like I sometimes think it's okay just to be sad and like let that ride, and then maybe you'll feel better after, you know? So you don't try to fix it today, because I tried, and honestly you scared me a little bit. So I think
I know. Sistine came up and she was, I don't know, remember what you said.
I ran away.
Yeah, you didn't run away. I'm in a feisty mood. Honestly, little things are annoying me. I was like tearing up an hour ago. It just sucks. And I completely agree with that. And I think that there is a time when it doesn't get involved in the things you have to do, like your job, or you have like a lunch that you need to go to, or something that requires you to be there and you need to be your best self, then you need to grow up and do the thing you need to do. But yeah, you know what, guys? If you're having a bad day, just like I am, have a bad day. Try not to be rude to your family like I was rude to Sistine.
Just try.
Sometimes I need to just take it out. But
I have something that could possibly cheer you up.
What? Honestly,
right? No, it's not.
It's just a joke.
No, why do you think everything I do is just dark?
Because I feel like you're gonna say something that's just not gonna make me happier, and it's gonna be something that makes you happier.
And I won't say it.
Oh no, say it though, because I kind of want to know.
I'll say it to the podcasters. I mean the listeners out there. Not the podcast. I'll say it to the listeners. Right before the Zoom call, so every time there's our podcast is on a new platform. Like I just saw that it was on Audible from Amazon, and so I like to just look at reviews on every sort of platform, because I am a stalker of myself. And I just typed in Unwaxed into the search bar, and then I went to images, and it's so funny because it'll be a photo of us and then just like a billion photos of dental floss, and then like a photo of us, and it's just us with a shit ton of unwaxed dental floss.
Wait, is that a thing? Oh yeah, I guess like not wax dental floss.
It's so funny. I love that we're just associated with dental floss now.
I think that maybe we should get sponsored by unwaxed dental floss. That was funny.
You should actually look it up
better.
It's really funny.
I will. But what do you do to for yourself whenever you're like,
Oh, we're
actually
getting serious again.
No, yeah, like what do you? Okay, we don't need to be serious, but
I'm just kidding. What was your
it's-
question?
I was asking what you normally do because, like, right now, I can't even watch a show or read a book without still just being really annoyed. Like, even going outside makes me annoyed. I just want to wallow, and I don't know how to get out of that headspace.
I always go for a long walk. I feel like that's the best way to distract myself, and I'll listen to a podcast or music that makes me sad. Maybe I should give this to the people. I made a playlist called Shower Crying Doesn't Count. And sometimes people always tell me, don't listen to sad music when you're sad. But honestly, it makes me feel better. So I'll listen to sad music and go for a long walk, and then I'll just feel sort of refreshed.
Maybe I should go for a long walk. Maybe that will make me feel better. Just getting out of the house for a hot second.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, it sounds like no, probably.
I just don't want you to scare any, people just minding
Some
their own business on the street, with your
Scaring some
angry mood,
children.
you
I
might
know.
bite their heads off.
I might just scare some children off by like me looking at them.
But that also could be fun.
That could, you know what? Maybe that's just gonna release my anger. It's just like projecting it onto everything else.
Yeah. This is the
You know
year
what?
for
You know what's good?
projection.
You know what you should do for me? You're staying in
What?
tonight, right?
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
no. Want to know what I'm doing?
Yeah. What?
I met a new friend and she asked to hang out.
What?
I'm so excited, you guys. Friend.
You have a friend and I don't know. I don't know.
You
Oh my
don't.
god. Am I being replaced?
So excited. No. Stupid question. No, you're not being well, let's see
Oh
how
my
you
God.
are with your little funky ass mood. Play that
Okay.
funky music.
So you met a new friend and you're gonna
Met a
go
new friend.
out.
I'm gonna see her tonight. I'm really excited. I love this. It's almost like going on a first date with a guy. It's like you're kind of going on the dates with these girls too. You're just sort of figuring out if you guys mesh well at all. I'm very excited.
But also I was gonna say, yeah, it's fun because you don't know anything about her and you get to know like everything new about her. But it also, pre-warning, sometimes when you tell people too much about yourself, because you could click, they might tell everyone else. So you got to be careful. You don't really know her yet. I think it's like a first date. Like you don't put all your cards too soon.
Perhaps.
Right?
I guess we'll see how it goes. Maybe. I don't know. I think for guys, yeah. When you're on a date with a guy, yeah. But girlfriends are different, maybe.
I think the difference between guys and girls are so polar opposite, and girls use information against you. Don't you think that? See,
Now I'm scared.
I'm so cynical. I'm such a pessimist today.
Wow. I'm excited to go out now,
I'm
Sophia.
so sorry. You guys, I'm in such a funky mood. I'm literally just trying to ruin Sistine's night so that she doesn't go out.
You can't rain on this parade. Speaking of friends, we have an incredible person on the podcast today. We are so excited. She is amazing. She's a businesswoman. She's hilarious. She's funny. We've had years of friendship with this girl, and we cannot wait to have her come on the podcast. We're going to talk about.
Oh, sorry. I thought you didn't know if you were going to mention this, but I was just going to say that on our conversation, we have really, really, really in-depth talks about anxiety, which I've gone through, her sobriety, and Instagram, and like reality versus not reality. But we get more personalized with it. I think we didn't get very general with everything. Like we tell stories and you guys relate to it.
Hopefully you laugh, hopefully you shed a tear, and hopefully you bite someone's face off like Sophia.
So actress, producer, writer, blogger, designer, YouTuber, podcaster, moved with Lauren Elizabeth, social media influencer. She started her website and now lifestyle hub, lovelaurenelizabeth.com in 2011, moved to LA and has been a boss woman ever since. She has the cutest dogs and most aesthetically pleasing Instagram. She's opened up about her sobriety, her anxiety, her whole life. She's one of the most hilarious, vulnerable, and kind people we've ever met. This is Lauren Elizabeth.
Yes.
Stop it right now. Like, first of all, like,
No,
I'm
we're
gonna
so
need that
happy.
as a voice memo, and it's gonna be my new alarm clock.
Should I
It's
just have
like,
that? I'll just, okay, have this. I'll
yeah, can
record
you
it
just,
again.
like,
I'll send it to you.
yes.
And that's just like how you wake up every single
That's
day.
literally like, also like your voice was like so like soothing. Like, honestly,
Is
that
it
was
really?
everything. Oh my God, yeah, that was like everything I needed and more. Thank you guys. I mean, first of all, like, I just have to say how much I adore the two of you. Like, you're literally the best people
Aw,
on the
thank
planet.
you.
Whenever
Thank
anyone's
you.
like, oh my God, have you guys like have you like met like the Stallone sisters? I'm like, you don't understand. Like, they are like the nicest, most like hilarious. Like, you guys are just absolutely amazing.
Okay.
And it says a lot because
Wait,
you guys grew up
that's
in
so
Hollywood.
sweet.
You know
No,
what
Lauren,
I mean?
I have to say, I think I met you. Maybe was it 3 years ago on Valentine's Day?
No,
We
it was
met
4
on
years ago
Valentine's.
now.
4 years ago.
This
What?
exact
4
week.
years ago?
I'm not kidding you. This is our 4-year
Yes.
friendship.
Literally, this is our 4-year anniversary.
That's crazy.
Like,
And
true
I have to
Valentine's
say,
Day.
I'm not even just saying this because you're here, but I do remember the very first time I met you. I had never been so caught off guard with kindness. Like, you completely opened your arms as a friend to me. You didn't have to, but
She
I was
actually,
like,
she has
new
mentioned
and
that
I
so
was
many
shy,
times.
and
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to thank you for that, because not a lot of people do that. And you know, when you're the new person in a group and it's really hard to feel like you fit in, and you made me feel like I fit in. So I really
Oh my God.
appreciated that. So thank you.
Well, it was like your energy is like literally contagious. Like, anytime I would just run into like Sistine, like, she's like, Lauren! And I was just
That's
like,
so
that's my
cute.
girl. Like,
Oh my
and it was so
gosh.
funny because I remember you like asking me stuff like about like my business and everything. And like the first time we met, and you know, obviously like not being from LA and then like meeting kids that like grew up in LA. I just like, I'm from the Midwest, so it's like very easy to kind of just like be self-deprecating and like dumb myself down and just like be very humble. And you were just like so like actually interested in what I did, and I was like so caught off guard. I was
Well,
like, I
it's-
think she actually cares.
No, and I genuinely do, because first of all, I think if you don't ask questions from people that are doing a good job at what they do, you're stupid. Because I was like, oh my God, she's so smart. You said you came from the Midwest. I didn't even know that, by the way. Can we talk about
Is that
when
so
you moved-
cool?
when you moved to LA? What motivated you to move to LA? What was sort of your dream of coming to LA?
I mean, it all happened like honestly really organically, because I started like my quote unquote career when I was 16. So I was literally in high school in the suburbs of Chicago, just like going to like private Catholic school. And it was like a very like traditional high school in the sense of like cheerleaders, football players. Like, there wasn't like we didn't have like home ec and like other like super like well-rounded clubs. Like, yes, I'm sure they existed. If someone like listens to this and like went to my high school, they're gonna be like, it wasn't like that. Like, okay, we had a whole lecture about bullying. Like, it was a very cutthroat school. And so it was like this weird time where like I just didn't feel like I wanted to like do cheerleading anymore and like all that stuff. And my mom literally grounded me, and she was like, so you're grounded, like do something with your life, like start a blog. And I was like, you're so dumb. And then I like slammed my door and like started the blog. So my
Oh my
mom
gosh, your mom.
yes, my mom
was
is
right.
like, she has that like entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah, she's just like, I mean, I owe her like everything. She's always pushing me. And so there wasn't this like space of people monetizing content and like doing it full time. And so it really just started as like a creative outlet. And then as the industry changed, I kind of just like changed with it. Like, I even went to college for a minute, and then it was like kind of, you know, there was like a new wave of like, you could kind of get a manager and like stuff like that, and like could get opportunities in LA. And I wanted to like be the host of E! News. So I was like, this is my chance. So I ended up just like,
I wanted to do the same thing at one
I
point.
know, right? I mean,
I was
like,
like,
so
right? I
considering-
feel like we all, when you go to LA, you want to.
it's like you see Juliana Rancic and you're like, oh yeah, like I got it. Like, that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But obviously that didn't happen. So
Well, that's amazing, because so you moved to LA, and then first of all, never say never. You're still very young. We still got time. We still have time. But so you move to LA, you start all of these platforms, right? You're on YouTube, you start acting, you're a big Instagrammer. I mean, how do you balance all of the social media accounts? Because you're also really good with engaging with your audience, and that's a lot of work. So how hard is that really?
yeah, it's so funny because I actually saw this kind of, I would say like, I guess, quote unquote, like micro influencer the other day. Like, because I like following like a wide range of people on Instagram. And I remember she was saying like, I don't understand how you full-time creators have time to do like this, and like all this other like normal human stuff. And it was one of those things too, where I was like, oh, wow, like people actually don't realize like how much work it is.
Yeah.
And I always used to compare it to the example, because I actually started when I first moved to LA. I didn't want to just like move out here and just like fingers crossed, like have me opportunities handed. So I started as an intern at Awesomeness TV, which still exists, but it was definitely more of like a digital space back in the day. And I worked there full time for like almost a year, and seeing the physical building of all of these people that worked on literally a YouTube channel, like grown adults that ran Awesomeness TV, from like a CEO to like the social media team to the marketing team, all this stuff. And I'm just like, that's the best example I could say of like, there are so many businesses that literally have full blown teams for all of these digital pieces of their business. And like, we have the same amount of followers as those corporations.
You're doing it on your own.
Exactly. So it kind of like opens people's eyes up a little bit to be like, do you understand how like, someone that maybe works for like, I don't know, like Juicy Couture has like 5 people on their social team or whatever. And it's like, I'm one person. But I do think of like engaging with people as like, I almost call it like customer service, quote unquote, because it's like they're kind of like coming to me for something. And it's like, I'm not like too good to respond. Like, I don't think of myself as like quote unquote famous. Like, why I do what I do is because I like the engaging with people and connecting with people. That was like that 16-year-old girl inside of me that wanted to like connect outside of this bubble that I grew up in. So it can become like overwhelming in a sense of like the actual content side of it. And then just like the OCD, like seeing all the little blue dots like of unread messages like in my DMs, because like I feel like I have to click them all. Like even if it just says like liked a message, like I want the blue dot to go away. Like I'm a freak.
No,
but
it's like having a million
but
emails in your inbox and you're like, oh my God, they got to get rid of them. Okay, so but your podcast Mood is sort of a great direct way just to talk to everyone. How has the response been from a lot of your female audience, I would assume?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally so crazy, because I obviously have been online since like 2011, and I wanted to start a podcast for a while. And I started it like basically right before I decided to get sober, and like while I was going through like entering this like super transitional phase of my life. Because I mean, if you think about it, if you do the same thing every single day for like 10 years, like obviously you're going to end up like losing your mind. And also just like, I mean, it's almost like not really getting a promotion at work. And like you've been in your career for 10 years. Like I'm only 26, but I've been like fully in the workforce for that long. Right. And so I kind of was like, I don't really know like what works anymore and what I want to do. Like, I know I want to use my voice. I know I want to have a podcast because that's the content I like to consume. So I want to make something that I like. And so starting Mood was more like, oh, like I'm just like a moody person. Like I have so many moods. Like sometimes I want to be like funny and crazy, and sometimes I want to be serious. And
I
like,
have moods.
I'm like, I'm a moody gal. Like so stupid. And it literally totally over like the first, I would say like 6 months probably, went from being one thing to like a completely other thing, partly because I was going through stuff in my personal life. I think that what I was doing wasn't even resonating with the new audience anymore. And like, I was self-aware enough to like know that it's because like I wasn't being authentic, and to like take the constructive criticism and like, instead of getting defensive, be like, they're not completely wrong. And I'm going to just do this exactly how I want to do it and hope for the best. And now all of a sudden it's like this place where we have honest and open, like vulnerable conversations about mental health, like not in a like lame way, I guess. Like not like in a
do you feel like there's a difference between your YouTube and your podcast?
Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, obviously like there's way more like visual stuff, obviously, like not to like say that that's the main difference, but the visual side of YouTube like allows me to show, just like open up more conversations about like, here's what I like wearing and like doing, like I love like home decor and I love like organizing and like stuff like that. And so the visual aid of YouTube like allows me to have like more fun with that stuff and like show more of that. But it's still like kind of always centered around like that idea of like trying to like be your best self and like live your best life, like whether that is with like feeling good because I'm like doing my hair routine, but I also get to like show my hair routine on YouTube where like I don't really talk about that as much on the podcast unless it's like a literal mood booster because I'm like so depressed, like I haven't showered in 4 days and like I should probably just like get up and shower and then it makes me feel better. You know what I mean?
Right. So it sounds like you've been having a lot of pivoting moments, especially during quarantine. A lot's been happening. And I've been watching, I watch all your videos. Like I love you like seeing what you're up to, whether it's a style trend or your favorite tanner and then you get into the real stuff. You talk about your sobriety, you talk about your breakup, you talk about being vulnerable. So I kind of want to talk about just like how you've been during quarantine and maybe what was the hardest part about, you know, being isolated for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally asking you guys like before we started, I was like, how's quarantine been? And it's just so weird because like
it's weird.
It's like we're coming up on like a freaking year of this. And it's just, I think
it doesn't seem real.
It doesn't seem real. Like but I also like don't remember like what life was like before at this point. I think because it does feel so far away. Like the past year has gone by so fast, but then like thinking before, I'm like, I don't know like what I used to do, like to the point where like I actually like need to start figuring out like a new daily routine because like I'm just like living this like quarantine like nightmare like over and over again. But I mean, I ended up getting sober like I would say like probably like 2 months before quarantine, obviously with like no notion that we were going into a global pandemic where we couldn't leave our houses or else probably would have like been the true alcoholic I am and prolonged that process and then because I was like, oh my god.
Do you think that quarantine helped? Did you think quarantine helped your sobriety or didn't help?
It definitely, I mean, I think I wouldn't have been able to do it without that like small foundation of like getting sober like in real life because I've been in recovery since December, and so like I was able to go to like in-person AA meetings and like be with my sponsor and stuff like that. So having that like small foundation and then like switching everything to virtual, it was still nice to be like, you know, a lot of the people that I had like met a little bit in these like rooms I could now see like on the screen, and it was like a learning curve for everyone. Like AA's never been on Zoom before, so it wasn't like everyone was kind of like pivoting, and it was like honestly this really great, as much as it's like, oh, it would have been so nice to be able to drink like everyone else during quarantine like every single day. It was like this really nice like kind of shift in this like sober community where like we were all going through this like really like obviously we're all always going through sobriety, but then like having this like pandemic, having that like support group where like you like have like a structure of like how you kind of
you're all going
and, like
through
have
it
these
together.
tools. So it honestly like it ended up helping just because it almost like confined me to getting sober without any of the distractions of like actual social life and all that stuff. And so it kind of gave me this good foundation. I mean, I've been sober longer in quarantine than I have in the real world. So like part of me doesn't even know.
I'm so
like,
proud
what
of you, Lauren.
to do.
So proud of you, Lauren.
Thank
Because
you.
I actually want to even jump into that because when you and like announced basically that you became sober, I had all of these thoughts in my head, like, I wonder why she did it. Like, what made her jump into that decision? It's like a really life-changing decision. Everything. I feel like your whole mindset is totally restructured. And then I thought about kids in college, and I was like, there were so many kids I saw in college that had such an unhealthy relationship with alcohol that I realized like maybe they should be sober and maybe they should talk to someone. Like, what were the signs for you that you were like, maybe I should make this decision for myself and change?
It's, you know, I think that like I obviously knew that I had an unhealthy relationship with alcohol since I was like 14. And like I grew up in a place where I didn't even like really know what drugs were, honestly, until I like went to college, just because like I grew up in such a bubble. But I knew what vodka was like the moment I like left middle school. And so I always knew that like it didn't make me feel good. And I was like always like a blackout drinker and was always like drinking for the purpose of getting drunk. Like I never really learned how to socially drink like ever. And so but it was so normalized that like when I came to LA and I kind of started to feel the repercussions of a little bit of more of that like hangover anxiety, because I was like, oh, like this isn't just with like my high school friends and like the usual stuff. I'm like, this is affecting like other people, and like now I have work, and like, but I still was so good at it that I didn't totally see a problem, because again, it was so normalized. And so
Right.
it got to the point where I had like one like really, really bad like blackout. And then I was obviously in a relationship at the time, and he was like, you need to figure your shit out. And I was just like, I got it. And that it took me 2 years to even be able to get sober. Like from that point, like that's how hard. And also like now it's, you know, it's so nice, like there's like this kind of like sober curious movement, like people are talking about sobriety more. But even just 2 years ago, like I didn't know anything about getting sober. All I knew was, okay, I need to go to therapy. And I started therapy, and I went because I was like, I got super drunk, there's all this drama in my life and I need to figure it out. And it's almost like I admitting like a little bit of having a problem made me like drink more and more and more and more, to the point where I was like, oh wait, this is even like a bigger problem than it was before. And you don't realize like, even like I didn't know that I was drinking because I had social anxiety until my therapist told me. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm hilarious. Like I have social anxiety. Like what?
No, because your personality is, I would have never guessed, because your personality is so outgoing and you're bubbly, and we've hung out a couple times, and I would never have thought.
But it really goes to show that you never know what anyone is dealing with internally.
Yeah,
it really goes to show, because you could always be happy and the fun party person in the room, but everyone has their own shit that they're dealing with. And I want to say I'm so proud of you for actually taking that step and recognizing the problem. And like you look amazing, and like I can actually see a difference. No, really, in the way that you're speaking and smiling about it. It's like I genuinely see an incredibly big change in you. And so it's really cool that you made this step. And you had mentioned that you went to therapy for it, and your therapist actually helped you recognize it was tied to your social anxiety. So anxiety is something that we definitely have been waiting to actually discuss on this podcast with you, because Sophia has dealt with anxiety. I've dealt with minor forms of anxiety, and you've been extremely open about your anxiety. So I feel like we should sort of just like jump into that topic a little bit, if you guys are comfortable with it, because I certainly want to learn more.
Well, I know, because Sophia was telling, I think you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, you were like, that's like how we like connected at first.
So the funniest, this is the funniest thing is I think this was like, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I can't totally remember what it was, but I was at one of my points where I was really low, and it was like one of those anxiety spirals where you're like, I'm fine, and then it just shoots down, and you're just like in this black hole. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if they're like the stars aligned, but I don't really watch it. I didn't watch a ton of your videos. Now I do. I love watching your videos. But at the time it popped up, and it was something you posted like that week, and you were saying literally exactly how I felt. You were talking about having this major anxiety, like things were just piling up. You'll go to therapy for like a couple months, and then you'll feel better. Then you won't go. And then all of a sudden you realize that all of this shit is so to the ceiling that when it comes crashing down, it crashes down. And that's exactly how I was feeling. And I literally texted the ex, and I said, hey, I need to talk to Lauren, just like tell her how much she helped me, because it made me actually go back to therapy. Honestly, like that was the day
I remember getting that text message too, and it made me like cry on the phone.
I heard that.
When my ex-boyfriend texted me and like sent me like a screenshot or something, was like, can I send her your number? I was like, oh my God, this is like the nicest thing I've ever seen. Like this makes me so happy, because it's just like, it's like Sistine was saying, like you don't know what someone's like going through. And like, it's like the same with like anyone that just like watches my videos. Cause it's like, yes, like I'm talking about it, but like when I'm saying it, like I don't fully think like, oh, like I'm saying this because like so many people are going to relate to it. I say it because like I just like can't sleep at night unless I'm like just being honest about it, because you know, like I hate like coming on to a podcast and being like, oh my God, like Sistine and Sophia, and then like in reality, like I was like crying last night. I mean, you can tell like I look like shit, but it's like, you know,
I was crying an hour ago. You're so
like it's like one of those things where it's like it's just like in the state of being like transparent, because with social media is so it's fucking hard. And I mean, I don't know if you can relate with anxiety, but I think that like something that like honestly makes my anxiety worse is unfortunately like my job and being on social media. Like it's the pressure of like so much. And like, I know that obviously we grew up like totally different ways. So like, but it's still like I get on social media and like a lot of the times like it makes me feel worse unless like I make sure I'm following the right people, you know?
It's so funny because a lot of my anxiety stems from me not doing enough, or me at the wrong
Yeah.
place, or if I'm not with the right people, or if I'm just like, and I get so hard on myself and so heady. And it's kind of interesting. I don't know if your anxiety was like this, is when I was born, like my anxiety kind of transitioned as I got older.
Totally.
Like it first
Yeah.
went to being like, I cannot be away from my parents. It was like separation anxiety.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I
And
remember when Sophia was young.
Yeah.
This is how, so when Sophia was young, my parents would go out to dinner, and what would you say? Maybe you're 6 years old,
yeah.
and they would maybe come back at 11:30 at night or 12 o'clock at night, and she'd be waiting on the stairs all night until they got home because she had the fear that they would get
Yeah.
in a car accident or not come home for some reason.
All
So
of these
that's
fears. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because then it turned into my sisters. So then my parents, like, I didn't really mind if they left, and I got super overprotective of my sisters. And it was one of those things, like, I had to see them in bed asleep for me to feel better. And it honestly, and I never went to therapy all those years. And for some reason, I thought to myself, like, I could fix this. And so I kind of did get out of that. And so now all the anxiety is just placed on me and the things I do. And I didn't go to therapy until I was like 13, 14, and I hated it. Like, I don't know if that's how you felt in the beginning. Like, I went to so many different therapists.
I would
Hated
lie
it.
to my therapist. I
Yes,
would
me
like,
too.
I thought it was a show. I literally thought it was like a piece of performance art when I was like 12.
And I'm a very self-sufficient person. Like, I like to fix
Yeah.
things on my own. I don't like to ask for help. I don't like people telling me like how to fix it. And it became a thing where I was like hitting a wall, like, okay, Sophia, you're just talking to yourself and you have anxiety. Like, an anxiety person talking to like themselves is not gonna help at all.
Yeah,
So,
it's like it's so funny too, because I feel like especially people with anxiety, like we're like self-sufficient and like we like to fix other people's problems. So we're like, oh, like we got this. And then in reality,
Yeah.
it's like the blind leading the blind, because it's
It
like
is.
you talking to your anxiety in your head, and it's like Lauren, like I can give you advice all day, and then like before I go to bed at night, like I'll forget everything I said to you, and then like start doing everything in my own head. And it's just like there's like you need that like outside source. And I think it helps for people like us too that are like, you know, like we're smart, and like we I think it's that street smart too, you know. It's like we understand
Very
emotions, we understand people, like social stuff, whatever. And so having like an actual professional be like, no, like this is actually what anxiety is and what your brain is doing. It's like, okay, I trust you because like you're a licensed professional, and now you're helping me understand, as opposed to like a friend just being like, you got this, girl. And I'm like, yeah,
That's
you
so
fucking know what you're
true.
talking about. Like, you
And you know
know?
what? And it was also is that I didn't even confront the idea that my anxiety was something that I was actually born with, because I feel like a lot of people go like, I'm so anxious, I'm anxiety. But when you have true anxiety, the best way to explain it to someone is like, it's a feeling. It's like, it's not just like something that's onset. It's just how and when someone says like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I just, my whole body is off.
Yeah.
And I woke, even if my day is totally fine, no one is bothering me, my work is great, my friends are great, my sisters are great, I'll just wake up super anxious. I'm like, okay, this is my mind. Like, this is something that I have to work through. And I mean, I went to therapy and I still do occasionally. Like, I don't think you need it all the time. I think you need it at certain points in your life. And I think that when you feel like you're good, you can reduce the amount of times you go. And I know that's helped me a lot, but you're like a well-oiled machine. You need to keep like retuning yourself. You can't forget to go back. And I'm also a person that I can't stop talking. Like, I have to talk about it.
Yeah, you do.
No, 100%.
I have a question for both of you, because obviously everyone handles it differently. And Lauren, you mentioned that you deal with social anxiety. So when you're in that element and you feel it sort of coming on, what are ways that sort of help you bring it back down? And Sophia, the same question to you.
I think too, like what Sophia was saying, because you know how you said like it's like that like feeling, and because I always, yeah, I mean, my therapist she always goes, like, because I'm always like, I don't know why I feel this way, like I don't know how I feel, and she's always like, but it's like also, we talk like every single week for the past like however many years. And so it reminded me too of like, which is just so funny, just to say really quick, how you said separation anxiety from your parents, I would always say like the only way I know how to describe the feeling is like homesick. Like, have you ever like, you know, like when you're like your parents leave, like sometimes my anxiety just like feels like that, but like my mom could like literally be in the same room, but it's like I still have like that feeling because it's just the only way I describe it. And so sometimes like when I feel that and like you think, okay, like maybe I don't know why I'm triggered. My therapist would immediately say like, you do know why, like you just have to think, like you don't want to think about it. But for something like social anxiety, I think that I even remember like right probably before quarantine, I had to go to like, or maybe it was like during quarantine. I was doing something safely. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. I was wearing a mask. Anyway, I was going somewhere for the first time, like sober, when there was going to be like other people drinking. And so it was the first time I had to like actually deal with my social anxiety without alcohol. And I just realized that like it was one of those things where I'm working a lot on this now because I think a lot of my anxiety just comes from the constant fear of like, I'm not good enough, like I'm not worthy of like even being good enough or like having needs and like people caring, whatever. And we're also consumed with like what other people think. And especially if you think about alcohol, it's like people getting sober, their first thought is like, well, what are my friends gonna think? And like, I just remember like walking into this party and being like, literally no one cares about you, especially like being in LA. And like, I wasn't really going to be with a bunch of friends. I was like, everyone here is a narcissist. Everyone here sucks. I'm like, just like,
that is the very advice. We give that very advice on the show all the time. We say no one cares about you but you. No one cares.
It's like everyone's so concerned with themselves. And it's like, I think the biggest thing too is just having boundaries, because I didn't have boundaries before. Because I mean, I'm sure you can relate, Sophie, of like, I want to fix everyone. I want to make sure everyone's having fun. I put everyone before myself. And I started realizing I don't like, no one cares what I'm doing. Everyone cares about themselves. And when I'm done, I can be done. I can leave the fucking party and I can go home.
That's so interesting you say it like that, because it's like in my case, when I talk about anxiety and I talk about, because I don't have social anxiety, but I do know what you mean about no one cares. My whole thing is like where I'm at in life compared to where everybody else is. And I have to get this in my head that you are where you're supposed to be. And everyone else is too. You may be ahead of people at your age, or you may be behind in what your mind thinks. And so it's like getting out of that and realizing you are who you are. No one cares where you are except themselves. It gets better. And
they care so much about where they are too. And I think like the biggest thing I learned from working my way backwards through the industry too is, and this is more like digital stuff, because like in reality, like people that aren't from LA, which is a bunch of transplants like me, like no one knows what they're doing. But I just realized like, because I'm someone who I just ask questions. And one of my agents used to always say like, curiosity killed the cat. And I was like, no, it's making this cat fucking smart. And because I would always be like, how, like, who did this? Like, who funded this? Like, how did this happen? And it wasn't because like I wanted to like feel bad or like compare myself necessarily. I was just always so curious, because I know there's so much more behind an Instagram post. And the more questions I asked and the more that I talk to people, and I'm like an open book, like I help my friends start businesses all the time. And I'm just like, literally 9 times out of 10, what you see on Instagram is smoke and mirrors. Like it just is. Like
I posted a bikini photo today and I was crying an hour ago. It's like,
Sophia, I can't even get myself to take a bikini photo. Like I literally.
No, by the way, she didn't know I was doing it. I caught her off guard.
And I was like, okay, like,
this is why
hot photo.
This is why I need to like hang out with you guys and get the fuck out of my house, because I have no one to like snap pictures of me besides my little brothers, who like literally just took a picture of me with like my nose cast on, like laying on the couch. Like that's not Instagram worthy. But it's just like, I literally was on FaceTime with my friend and I was like, I know I have a birthday party on Friday and I just want to look cute. I don't care what people think about me. I want to look cute for me. But I know 30 minutes later, I'm going to be pissed off because I couldn't even take an Instagram picture of it. Like, why is this our life? Like, it's so stupid.
It's life. It's so dumb.
It didn't happen if you didn't take a picture. Today, no, it didn't happen. Your birthday didn't happen. If you
why do you think I take mirror pics all the time? I can't execute. I'm not a fashion blogger for
Oh my god.
It's like, Sissy calls me the queen of selfies because like 90% of my photos are just literally just selfies.
selfie.
But
yeah.
you know how to find the light, which is rare, I will say.
That's true. Thank
But
you.
I'm worse than I think both of you, because I'm the type of person that I take great photos of everyone, but no one else can take it the way that I see it for myself. So I get livid. I'm like, can't you
She's
just take it
so
from this angle?
mean
I will set
to
it
take a
up.
photo
No,
of.
I will set it up. I'll say, Sophia, stand here, do not move, take the phone and replace it with your hands.
And I
And
do.
it's stuff. And I'm like, bitch.
No, she's the scariest person to take photos of, just because
Yeah.
she
But this
hates
is why
every photo.
this is why I need to come over, because I just need to like take advantage of Sistine
Oh
taking
my
photos
God.
of me.
I'll take
And-
photos of Sophia as the director and she'll position you. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
I just
It's
like hate
perfect.
having my picture taken. It's like all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know how I got here, because like all of a sudden I like have an Instagram and I'm supposed to post pictures of myself. And there's nothing more that I hate than taking photos of myself. So you wonder why I take mirror pics all the time, because it's like I can like cover
Easier.
my face and just show you what I'm wearing, but it's
Mhm.
just
But
social
it's hard
media is
'cause
weird.
it's so
It's
weird.
so weird.
I feel like, I feel like I try to tell myself, I'm like, I don't compare my photos to like everyone else. And then I see the photo that Kendall Jenner's posted. She looks like a real life Barbie.
Oh,
And you're
yeah.
like, all right.
I'll like save the photos and I'm like, remember this pose, like you can do it, and like
You
it just
can do
never
it.
works.
I
It never
by the way,
works.
The funniest
that's-
part.
That kills the confidence the most, when you save one and you literally
Yeah.
dress the same and then it just does not look anything.
No.
I literally tried. I had my phone. I put my bikini on. I was like, let me recreate her whole thing, because I had a red bikini, all this stuff.
Sophia, this was
Polar
funny.
opposite. Like,
Sophia's taking, this is the best, because do you like this photo? I'm like, your body looks incredible, but you're posing in front of a bookshelf. I'm like, it doesn't really look like the correct background for a bikini pic right now. I don't know about you.
it did not work. Because nobody takes I couldn't, I was posting it up. I was like, I can't do it outside. The lighting's not that good. So everything's better inside. But like, who's wearing a bikini inside near a bookshelf? Like,
You
mean,
can make it.
I
Make
don't
it
know what you do in your free time. It might be a mood booster for you to go to the library in your bikini.
that's true.
There
Oh my-
we go.
So that is, I think, the key to all this. Do not believe anything we post on Instagram, because it's all smoke and mirrors.
All
And
smoke
It's
and
all
mirrors.
smoke and mirrors, from like a bikini pic to like a flourishing business. Like you
And
just
going-
you don't
it's
know.
true. It's true. And going back to sort of, you don't know what anyone's going through. I'll look at some of these girls' pictures. I'm like, holy shit, they're beautiful. I'm sure they have not a single problem in the world because they have a
Oh,
face
yeah.
and a body like that. Whereas they're probably the ones the most insecure. So
Yeah.
it's always interesting just to like remind yourself.
And I think also like too, I was just saying this on my podcast because it was just Valentine's Day, and I was like, I thought I was going to be like so upset and like a total basket case. And I was just like, I was this person last year on Valentine's Day. Like I was the person with the long caption with like the cute slideshow. And I was like, and look at me now, motherfuckers. I was like, any of you could be me in 12 months. Join the club. Like,
I love
you know what I
it.
mean? It's just like, and my real friends, or like the ones like FaceTiming me being like, one of my girlfriends and her boyfriend were like, oh yeah, you liked my Instagram? Don't worry, I almost deleted it because we got in a fight and I slept in the guest bedroom last night. Like, don't listen to anything you hear on Instagram. And I'm just like, that's like the energy we need. You know what I mean? It's like
It's
no one's
true.
relationship is perfect. No one's life is perfect.
No.
It's just,
You know
what
we should start.
What?
Go ahead, Sophia.
I was just going to say that I think that's what I've realized the most when I've started this podcast with Sistine, is that the more vulnerable we are, because we try to like shoot the shit with each
Mhm.
other and we're goofy and we like tell conspiracy theories, but the moments we're like really open about like anxiety or stress or blah, 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 that's when you get the most responses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what people want to hear, especially right now. Like,
I think we should
I
start a
mean-
new trend with every Instagram caption that we write associated with the photo. You could write the truth of what either went into the photo or how you're
Yes,
actually feeling. Like,
yes.
like if it's a bikini pic, you're like, I literally am so hungry. I'm about to eat a Big Mac after this. Hi, here it is.
like,
Like-
I literally posted a bikini photo. I had the worst news like 2 hours ago. This is just making me
Literally.
or
feel
like,
better.
can you see the bookshelves warping towards me in the background? Can you tell?
I mean, that
Can you
is one of my favorite hobbies. I mean, people are way better at face tuning now, but it used to be like zooming into the lines in the background of the
It was
photo
so
to
much
make
fun.
myself feel
fun.
better. But no, it's
Yeah.
so it's so funny too, because it's just like I feel like I always like have all these photos that like I'll put on makeup like once a week, and then because I also just like hate wearing makeup, and then I'll be like posting a picture of me and I like look like this in bed, and I always just want to write, I look nothing like this right now. But I'm like, I'm gonna post that like every single photo at this point. So I think people just understand at this point, you know?
There's moments where I've had my girlfriends message me because I'll put on like a really cute outfit and I'll post it on my story, and then I'll change back into my sweatpants. Like, oh my God, you have the best style, this. Little do they know, it took me like probably 40 minutes to even decide what this outfit was, how stressed out I was, how angry it was to get that photo, and then go, oh yeah, I just like threw this together. Like, I honestly, and I have to tell them that. I'm like, you guys, I'm not this put together.
Not real.
Like, I'm really not the fashionista of the family. Like, I'll have one idea for one outfit. I'll get
Sophia will
selfie.
put like orange and pink together.
I'm still not that good. I'm like, I
with
think
the style.
I've totally, and if my friends are listening to this, I've totally tricked them into thinking that I'm way like more fashionista and like a makeup guru.
You are.
than I
You're
am.
getting better.
I did that last week. I literally like put on like a cuter top because like I'm that person that like I love the idea of orange and pink together, but then if I like put it on, I'm like, I don't want to leave the house in this. Like, because I was talking to my friends about it. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me in a sense of like, I don't want people to like look at me when I'm out in public. Like, I don't want to like look like I'm something that I'm not. And like me and my one good friend like have this like, we're so weird about it. It's like, I just want to look like I'm like not trying, like I don't want attention. And it's like, also I'll put on something for Instagram, and like I admire the confidence that people have to like take Instagrams in public, wear fashionable outfits in public. Because like unless there's a reason, like I am walking out of the house in a t-shirt and jeans, and that is the fancy version of what I'm leaving my house in. Like,
but that's you, and that's what you like, and it works for you.
It works. It works.
Fine.
You just like, there's enough like mental health to deal with over here. The last thing I need to worry about is like mixing patterns, you know?
And getting a good Instagram on a art wall.
I feel like I've tried the trends of like what TikTokers are doing with their hair pulled back and these like cute little things. And I try to wear like the plaid like crop top shirts, and I literally look like a baby. A giant baby. I look like a clown, like a child. God. And it's so
like,
bad. I realized like Generation Z versus millennials, light years. Like, literally.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm 26 3/4. I'm about to be 27 years old. Like, there are some trends that I just cannot partake in anymore.
By the way, I heard skinny jeans are out. Apparently
which by the way, I was just thinking as I looked at Revolve, because I don't know if quarantine has done this to you, but like I'm actually in this like phase now where I'm just like actually ready like to bust out. I'm just like, no, like I need like a hot girl summer, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I was like literally on Revolve, and I was like, I think skinny jeans are gonna be my thing. And then I was like, oh, now Gen Z says we can't wear them. Like, Jesus Christ.
I know.
You can never do anything right by Gen Z, by the way.
True.
We're never gonna be cool enough.
Also dark circles. If I friggin' knew that years ago that my dark circles were gonna be a fucking trend.
Are you kidding me? When I saw that on Instagram, I was like, this is a joke, right? Like, why do they want to look dead? I don't get it. It's like the grunginess.
They're like, I love freckles, but it's like now they're adding it. It's like, it's a lot. Stuff. Yeah, it's a lot. And I can't keep up. So, you know what? I'm just going to keep posting my bookshelf selfies. And like,
literally.
Wearing
stay true to yourself. I
rewear the same outfit like 80 times. I'm going to continue wearing it another 81st time. So that is it.
I change about 2 to 3 times a week. And I had to change. I have so many pairs of gray sweatpants because I just like neutral colors. And my little brother would not stop making fun of me this week. And he was like, hey, stinky. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not stinky. And it's like his like joke, like he's 16. Like his sense of humor is like telling people that they stink and that they smell. Like there's a post-it note on the top of my mom's ceiling right now that says, oh my God, you stink. And like, it's just like, you're 16. And so I literally put on green sweatpants and a nude sweatshirt when I got out of the shower yesterday, because I was like, I don't want them to think that I've been wearing the same gray outfit for the past 5 days. So but maybe I'm going to start branching into some color.
Quarantine's been doing that to us. Quarantine's been doing that to us. And I have to say, I was on Revolve as well twice this morning.
Right?
And the edit I was under was a night out.
Yes.
I'm trying. I'm adjusting. When we get out of here, all of us, we're going hard, ladies.
Like, honestly, just be glad you don't have my cell phone number. Like, sending you texts is the only text message I've been sending for the past 3 days is like, links to like new spring collections being like, I'm about to stunt in this dress. Watch me show up in April. Like I have texted so many people that I called Gaia released their collection. I sent it to one of my girlfriends and I said, see, catch me in this fucking orange dress. I dare you.
I just ordered a polka dot dress from Revolve. I don't know why. I don't know where I'm wearing this.
Where are we going? I don't fucking know, but I'm ready.
We're going in front of the bookshelf. Get ready.
It's honestly good for your mental health. I don't care if it's a bookshelf or what it is, but like honestly, a mood booster at this point is to just like feel hot, because we've been inside for so long wearing sweatpants, and it's like I feel like we all forgot that we're like these beautiful female vessels, and maybe it's like what heartbreak has done to me, because I'm just like trying to like hype myself back up, but it's like the energy I'm taking it into the summer.
No, heartbreak like boosts you. I know for me, honestly, I got blonder, I got in shape, my style amped up. I was like, who am I? Like everyone.
I've never looked better. I'm like I didn't know that this was gonna like take me to a glow up. I'm dead inside, but I look great.
I'm like, I need a heartbreak every year. Just like every January, just every 6
months, like a tune-up every 6 months.
Yeah, literally, because like when you like quote unquote fall in love, you like gain weight and stuff. And so I'm like, this is like the total opposite. I'm like, I'm looking. Everyone's like, you look amazing. I'm like, oh, yeah, I actually do. I'm like vacant inside.
Yeah, you're like, I'm dying inside.
I am a shell of a human, but I look good.
But I look good. That's all we can ask for right now.
Lauren, we'll leave you with this one last question. I was actually just curious. I didn't even write this down. I'm because you're always branching and doing. You have your foot in like so many different ponds, and I would love to know what you see yourself doing in like 5 years.
Ooh, I mean, it's one of those things too. I think if the past year has taught me anything, it's that I've accepted that I actually may not know as much as I think I know, and I think that's really scary for someone like me. And so I think it's like, for me, it's understanding that like, I don't have to be psycho in control like I have the past 10 years of my career. I can still like be active and partake in life. And I think that what's meant so much to me in my career the past year really has been this like authenticity and like being open and honest and vulnerable. And I think my podcast was like the biggest silver lining. And so I think if I could like literally in 5 years just somehow like, I think at the core just like be a good person and like enjoy what I'm doing, which like I didn't do for a very long time, because it was always that scarcity mindset of like, I'm gonna have to move back home, I'm not gonna make it in LA. And so I think just like figuring out in the next 5 years, which is like for me terrifying, because like then I'll be like in my 30s, like whoa. I mean, like let's hope like I won't be like freezing my eggs and like maybe just be pregnant. Like we don't know. And also those are the things.
By the way, if that happens, that happens. I feel like, you know,
exactly.
I get it though. Like life happens when you're busy making other plans, and I think that that's one thing that we've really learned this year is that do not expect anything that you like do not plan anything, because your life can change in one day, in a second. And I
like
think that
literally
I get that.
in a split second. And it's like it's always like man plans, God laughs, because it's like you just have to like roll with the punches. So I think it's like for me, like in my career, it's like even I've had so many personal just blows this year, and like even professional blows. And I think the one thing that's like helped me is being honest about it all and sharing it all, not in a way where it's like I'm depleting myself and like my privacy, but I think that at least it's helped me make this community. And I finally feel like I'm in this place where I'm an adult on the internet, whereas not a 16-year-old on the internet anymore. So just kind of figuring out over the next few years of like, okay, how do I, now that I know who I am and I know what I stand for, just kind of catapulting off of that. So I'm doing a lot of like writing and designing stuff and just planning little things, but just taking it day by day, because you never know when someone's gonna drop kick you in the face again, you know?
Lauren, that was a brilliant answer. You didn't answer that question.
Thank you.
Better.
It's not the most exciting thing.
No, it is, because this next chapter of your life, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you, because you're doing so well and you're on such a good path. And like, yes, you know, you've dealt with hardships and you've dealt with bad people and getting drop kicked in the face, but you've bounced back so well. And like that
Yeah.
really says something about your character, and you're stronger because of it. So I'm really excited for you.
Yeah. We
Thank
love you,
I
Lauren.
literally
We
love you
love
guys
you.
so much.
We love you.
Thank you for
so
having
much
me.
Yeah,
for
of
coming
course.
on. Seriously, we absolutely
Where-
love you.
Yeah, where can everyone find you?
I mean, listen, all you have to do is type in Lauren Elizabeth in any search bar. I'm sure you can even say it, and all of a sudden your phone will just start redirecting you there because our phones listen to everything we say. But Lauren Elizabeth on Instagram, and then there's Mood with Lauren Elizabeth, the podcast, on YouTube, Lauren Elizabeth. You'll find everything on Instagram. And there's a
Perfect.
million things you can watch, listen to, read, all that stuff.
Perfect.
Amazing.
We love you.
We
Thank
love
you
you,
so much,
Lauren.
Lauren.
Love you guys.